fellow reflectors, and welcome to your reading for the week of September 16th, 2024. But know that if you are crossing paths with this video at a later date, you're definitely still in the right place. As with all readings, take what serves you well and put the rest in the chuck it bucket. One of the most fascinating things about being human is that we have free will choice. So no matter what messages Spirit has for us today, you have the power to change that at any time. All right, let's get going. This week we have a supermoon eclipse happening, so I felt drawn to get some advice from the moon. And then, so we'll be pulling one from a Moonology Oracle card, one from a Moonology Manifestation card, and then 3 cards from the Tarot. At least we will be doing strength, weakness, and advice for us this day, Manifestors. All right, let's get started. So let's start with, what does the moon have to say for our manifestors this week? We have a win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. All right, we will take that. Thank you very much. All right, so that is beautiful card for this week in particular. Look at that. It's just, so we've got balance. So we've got this win-win. Oh, I can't wait to see what area of life this is coming in. Okay. And in terms of manifestation, how can we help our manifestors manifest this week of this beautiful supermoon? And it is full moon in Scorpio, another full moon. My goodness, manifestors, lots is coming out, and it's in Scorpio, and it's breathe through the tension. So perhaps before this win outcome can be achieved, there may be a little bit of tension or conflict. We're going to find out about this. Okay, so strength, weakness, advice for manifestors. All right. As a strength, we have the Page of Wands, talking. New paths in regards to a strength in terms of taking action on something. And as manifestors, we love to take action, not necessarily so great at completion, but we love to take action, and we sure love this talking stick, don't we? Okay, so we'll see, let's see how this develops. So a strength, a weakness. Oh, interesting. Sometimes manifestors, we can shine a little bit too bright. Okay. And then we have advice. Oh, which is interesting. All right. Okay. Definitely going to clarify at least a few of these. All right. So in our strength, as I have already mentioned, okay, so our wands are about passions. They are about taking action. They're what we do. Okay. And as manifestors, we are very much doers, and we do, like I said, love to talk. Now, the sun being a weakness, like that seems a little counterintuitive, but also remember that every card has both a light and a dense side to it. And the sun definitely does err on the light. But when it comes through as a weakness here, it's showing that, well, sometimes other people interpret us as taking up too much space in the room, right? So it's like we glow too bright for some people, but that is actually okay. Because remember that all manifestors have a self-sorting mechanism for how they attract opportunities and other people to them. And that is just being yourself. So it's important that we don't worry about who doesn't like that we burn too bright. The people that we make uncomfortable are the ones that are maybe either not meant to join us in our life experience, or they just need some time to kind of realize that you're, just because you glow brightly, it doesn't mean that it takes away from them. So other people can sometimes be like, they become intimidated because when a manifestor stands authentically in their power, it is a little bit scary. I know that this is true for myself. A lot of people find me, I mean, I'm a very open-hearted, caring, spiritual, like don't give a F what you do kind of thing. Like you do, I'm very firmly like a you do, you boo, and it doesn't really affect me. But when I stand firmly in my power, it can be intimidating to others. So as a weakness, so perhaps as a manifestor, like you can be like yourself unapologetically, but so don't stress when other people don't like it, right? They're just not meant to jump on your bus, right? Like I always envision us manifestors as like, we're driving a bus and it's got, the destination on the front, and some people want to go to where we're going and some people don't. So don't worry. Okay. This, like when you shine brightly and you ding, ding, ding that bus, don't be offended when people don't get on, right? Like that's okay. Okay. So as a weakness, there we go. Sometimes it feels like we can burn too bright, but not. But don't worry about it. That's okay. All right. Now we have our advice, which is the 9 of Swords. Now, a lot of people don't like this card, right? But I no problem with it. So yes, it's a card of like fear, anxiety, things keeping you up at night. But when it comes to advice, like the 9s are about fulfillment of something. So fulfillment of thoughts, fulfillment of the like mental space here. So we're saying like, again, there is a light side of this, which means we need to move away from this in order to achieve what we want in the world. So manifestors, again, we have often been conditioned to dim this light, to play by society's rules, to really like, of all of the human design types, manifestors, well, maybe reflectors too, but manifestors are the ones that tend to be the most socially conditioned because we don't want to play by the rules. We want to like carve our own path, right? So in order to get this win-win coming out, okay, because there's something happening in a situation and it's going to come. I want some more clarification around this situation. But this tension, so these two, right? So if there's something that you've been worrying about, if there is something that you have been giving, maybe you've been like a bit in the loop, right? So whenever we have some sort of worry, tension, confusion, we tend to get what I call like the hamster wheel in our brain, where we don't want to think about it, but it keeps coming back. And there's lots of ways to help interrupt that hamster wheel. Like let's get that hamster off the wheel so that it can stop. And then we can expend some mental energy on the things that we do have some strengths about. So this is a permission slip to, now some of those things are meditation. Sometimes it is focusing on something else, listening to music, literally watching cat videos on YouTube, whatever floats your boat in terms of like shifting those gears. So perhaps you're worried about some sort of deal that is in the works, right? Or some sort of, there has to be some sort of conflict in order for there to be a solution, right? Like I was an English teacher for many years, right? So there's in a story arc, like conflict is the interesting part, right? So, and conflict doesn't have to be yelling and screaming. It just has to be like either whether it's internal, whether it's external, whether it's between characters, right? There's going to be some tension. That is part of what makes for a good story. So maybe not focusing on the tension, but rather focusing on how can I make this situation a win-win rather than worry about winning. Okay, so manifestors, we like to win. I mean, who doesn't? But us in particular, we really, really do. Okay, so one of the ways that we can do this, the coping mechanism that we have for this scenario is your breath, is breathing. So perhaps doing some breath work. And once we breathe through this, we're actually going to get some more guidance as to what we can do. I really want to clarify the page. I always like to clarify pages. So let's find out, okay, so maybe what area, there we go. What area of life? Oh, and it's emotional, okay? So the King of Cups is, so wherever this is, so I'm going to say it's probably in our personal life. Could be, remember, take it or leave it, put things wherever, but there is some very emotionally driven. Now, one of the cool things about the King of Cups is that he's already like been through it, like he is he's like a master. He's like in charge. He's in control of his emotions. And so very much so this win-win will come from like working through those thoughts that may be causing some negative emotions around this situation. So in order to have this win-win, we need to come to that place where we're in control. We are leading our emotions rather than them leading us. Like, look, he's on all this turbulent water, but he's like, man, I'm on my little floating concrete block, right? He's on his slab of stone. He's got his cup. He's chill, right? So he's already been through it. And so this is the energy that we need to embody in order to get over this Nine of Swords feeling of through breath, so that then but don't worry about dimming your light, okay? So other people see this as a weakness, but maybe we also need to consider the other person's feelings. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. In order to get this win-win, which is bonus, fantastic, we need to consider the other person's feelings. Tell them that we consider their feelings so that we don't need to dim our light to make them feel better. Boom. Okay. Well, that's all I've got for you this week, Manifestor friends. I hope you gathered something from it useful, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.